Yo, it's good to see you guys. Wow.
Good to see you. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having us.
yeah, thanks for being on the podcast. This is pretty freaking tight.
Yeah.
And
Have we met
yeah.
before?
I'm
Yes.
not sure. We might have met on like the internet or yeah.
You've totally met Cage.
When was that?
Every time we've played 507 and you were there.
Yeah. And then were you at the yeah, we were at like Zach's last show, right?
507.
In
Mhm.
Thousand Oaks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, okay. I
I
do
watched you
remember.
guys, yeah, I
Oh,
watched you
yeah.
guys perform.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, okay. I remember now.
I'm actually really interested to hear about your guys' travel from you guys were like from North Carolina, right?
Yeah. So I was born in California, but I moved to North Carolina when I was 7. So I grew up there, and that's where I met Cage. And I met Cage when I was in college. So in Charlotte.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlotte. Cool.
I was from Florida originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that when we were in our youth, we both were like, our parents moved to North Carolina, therefore we had to as well, and then we just kind of met, almost kind of randomly in college, and it's funny because we, we've played music together for so long and been friends for so long, but when we, can I share the story of how we met? It's
Yes.
kind of funny. So
Yes,
when we first met each other, which was in college, it was through a mutual friend, and I remember my friend talking about her roommate Ayisa, and like, oh, you'd get along with her. She's a musician. She's a singer. And I was like, oh, cool. And the first time I ever met her, I was standing in her doorway and I saw a guitar on the wall, and I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Oh, you play? And she kind of like deadpans at me. It's like, no. And it took me so long to get any kind of music out of her because I don't know why. She didn't like me. It was shy. I don't know. But it's just funny how like now all we do is play music. But
He was like, oh, but you sing. And I went, no.
that deadpan.
Yeah. And then I like did an open mic or something at my school, and someone posted a video and tagged me on it, and he saw it on Facebook, and he was like, wait, I thought you said you didn't play guitar or sing. And I was like, I don't. On the video where I'm like playing guitar and singing.
it was a very play hard to get relationship.
So when did you guys actually like start like playing music together, or like how did that happen?
Like 2013.
Yeah, it's funny. We had another mutual friend. Her name was Caroline, and she was helping put together this event for Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
And she was looking for talent to come and perform live music during the event. And she asked, I don't remember if she asked us both individually to come and play.
So we went. I think the story starts at Warped Tour.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because the story starts at Warped Tour. It was 2013, and this is the first time I'd ever gone. I went with my friend Scarlett, and Caige was like, "Oh, I won a free ticket, and I'm gonna go with you guys, or like I'll meet you guys there." And this is when I was
I did win a free ticket.
Yeah, you won a free ticket. I was like, "How did you win a free ticket? I didn't even know you could do that."
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, we met in Charlotte because I still had a place out there because I had just finished my semester. It was summer, and like it went into the summertime. So just before the lease was up, I still had a mattress there. So we like all just like hung out at this place, slept there, and then like closed out everything and like dumped my mattress after Warped Tour was over and like locked everything up. So it kind of was like, it was a nice little like it matched up really well for us to be able to go to Warped Tour. But we went to Warped Tour. Yeah, it aligned perfectly. And we went to Warped Tour, and I was doing my own music thing at the time, and I knew Caige had his own thing. And when we went, we saw this band, Echo Smith, and they were on the Ernie Ball stage. And we were like, oh my God, they're so young. Like, they're like still such a small, tiny little like entity. And we were watching them on stage, and we were like, I feel like I could do that.
You know
like,
Echo Smith, right?
Yeah, yeah, they had that like super big song back in the day. Like I can't
That
remember
Cool
what it's called.
Kids.
Cool
That one.
kids.
Wish that I could be like the cool.
Where are
And
they now?
so we saw them before like that took off, which was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
And the only
Yeah.
reason I went and watched their set was because I was like right at the gate and they came, or the girl and I guess they're like whoever was part of their team, they were passing out free CDs at the gates before opening. And she was like, oh, come like watch our set. And I was like, interesting. I've never heard of this band. And so I went and watched them and I was like, wow, she's like 16 years old. And I just feel like, I don't know. Something was very inspiring about their set that I was like, I feel like I could do that. That's where I belong.
And this is going to sound kind of bad, but I remember being in the crowd and looking up on the stage and then looking at Ayisa and being like, you can sing better than that. You should
Yeah.
sing more. And this was like still at the time. This was still at the time when she was like not sharing that she was like a singer or being very pronounced about it.
Right.
And I was just like, you could do that. You could totally do that. And she was kind of played it back to me and was like, well, you can play guitar like that guy. And so that was kind of like when it all like started, the wheels started turning a little bit.
Yeah, we were like, well, why don't we just join forces?
Wow.
Why not, right? Yeah.
But then we didn't like decide then that, there was going to be a band or a group or anything. It just kind of like went about our ways for a couple months or so. And then the Habitat of Humanity comes in. And our friend Caroline asked us both to play. And
No, she asked you, and you were like,
Oh, she
well, I
asked
have
me?
this band.
yeah, we got this band and never really talked about it with Ayisa yet. And then
Yeah,
we were
dude.
just like, should we do it? And we like put together this makeshift band of
No, it was already together. I don't know where his memory is at. It was already together at that point because you were like, I was waiting for Scarlett after work one day. And I was like thinking of just like stage names. Because at this point, it wasn't a band yet. I was like thinking of stage names. Like, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? And then I was thinking more of like Lady Gaga. Like I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to do this on my own. But I want a stage name because I just like want to kind of have a little bit of anonymity. Because I thought I was going to be like this, who knows? We're getting in there. But with this name. And I was like, oh, Eyes Eat Suns. I was like, let me just play off of my name and like do that. And I was like, yo, Caige, like, is this a cool name? And I like sent him like 10 other really, really crappy ones. And he was like, forget all the other ones. I like that one. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go with it. And then he was like, cool. So it was like the two of us. And then we brought on our friend Lewis, who says hi, by the way. And, and we brought him on. He was going to play keyboard and do like backup vocals. And then we were like, all right, cool. We have like the three of us. And then Scarlett like was just kind of helping us like behind the scenes. She was like, I'm going to be like your makeshift manager or whatever. And so we didn't really have anything. We had a singer, a guitarist, and a piano player. And that was it. We had like one
drummer.
Well, not yet. So we had like our first rehearsal at Lewis's house in their basement. And there was like a crappy drum kit down there. And like, I think I still have a video of like Caige playing this drum kit because he was like, oh, cool, I'm going to play. And we had this rehearsal and we just kind of like went through some songs. I think the only song we had at this point was Welcome Mats, which is like the first song that we put out, but we put that out like a whole year and a half later. But like that was the one song that we had was Welcome Mats.
So
Do you remember that?
You're gonna play this Habitat for Humanity with one song?
So, I don't remember the set list for this, but we definitely had way more songs than just Welcome Mats. But at this point, we had just that.
One original.
Everything
else was covered.
Cool. Yeah. And then, was everything else covered?
Mm-hmm.
We
covered like A Day to Remember, the Have Faith in Me song.
Okay.
I don't remember anything else.
I don't remember anything.
Wait, I have a quick question. Caige, do you remember some of those crappy names that I used to send you? Or AC, do you remember?
I remember boxes and mirrors.
Yep, I remember that one.
I was like, it was like Ayisa and the boxes, Ayisa and the mirrors,
Wow.
boxes and mirrors.
Ayisa in the boxes though. That's next level, like, or next low level. I don't know. Anyways, okay. So you guys were practicing covers like Data Remember, and you had a welcome mats in the basement.
Yeah, so we did welcome mats in the basement, and then sounds so weird. After that, we were like, we need more people, and I think that was when Caige was like, "Oh, I can ask Durham to drum, and then we need to like see if we can find somebody who can play bass." And then I don't remember at what point, but I remember you saying like, "Oh, I know we already have our first show lined up," and I was like, "We do? What is it?" And then you like told us about it, and it was the Habitat for Humanity thing. She just reached out to you. I don't know if I was that close with Caroline at that point that she would have told me about it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. A day to remember.
Wow.
But long story short, we ended up forming a band quickly. We played that show and we had so much fun. We were like, well, let's keep going, you know. And then
yeah.
we were kind of like, well, we're gonna keep going. What are we gonna go for? What's the goal? What's the point of it all? And so we set a first goal, which was, you remember seeing Echo Smith on the Ernie Ball stage at Warped Tour? Let's do Ernie Ball.
Yeah.
That'll be our goal, which seemed
Yeah.
kind of high and out there. But then I think it was a year and a half, 2 years later, we played Ernie Ball. So we did that goal. And
yeah, 2015. It was 2 years later. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
what did that feel like?
Crazy. It was awesome. And I don't know. I missed the Ernie Ball stage because then I think after that year, they got rid of the Ernie Ball stage. So it was like we were right at the cutoff of when Ernie Ball was even a thing anymore.
It's like it aligned again.
It's crazy, right?
No, Warped Tour was a rad experience. It was
dude.
It was one of those days where everything was the highlight of the day. You know, it was like so much like overstimulated and just
like summer camp.
Yeah, being like getting there at the ass crack of dawn and seeing all these bands that you have heard of or know, and
we're like pulling up in like this crappy 15-passenger van that doesn't have all the seats
next to all these giant buses and stuff
and van wagons, and you're just like, nah. I don't even know if we had a trailer. I'm pretty sure we did not have a trailer. It was just all like
shoved into the
back of the van.
Oh my
It's
God.
pretty wild.
That's so freaking beautiful. I definitely relate to that. Like we had a similar dream. So I play guitar in a band called Plan Your Escape. And like we all got on Warped Tour like super last minute, just like a few weeks before. And it was like also like that, like it aligned again. And it was the last date, like when Warped Tour was gonna finish their like national like tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I remember like the same thing, like me and our drummer Josh, like pulling up in our like SUV with our equipment, and we just like pull up to the back, and it was so surreal because like normally we're so used to like waiting in line or like, you know, like hanging out in the front, seeing all our friends and stuff. And then we just pull up to the security guard and we're like, oh, we're a band. And we're just like,
we had the same thing.
Yeah, dude, it was beautiful. Definitely like dreams come true. Like it was like the little kid in me was super fulfilled.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a one-off or did you play a couple dates?
It was just that one date.
Yeah. Was that Ernie Ball as well, or was it another
No
stage?
it was called the No Cover stage. There's like this a magazine called No Cover, and they partnered with a local music venue, Rock City. I don't know if you guys have played there before.
No.
And yeah, so they like partnered and like had a stage there. So that was pretty freaking cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How did you guys get picked?
So like we were talking to the manager at the venue, Rock City, and he was like, yo, like I wanted to like try and get you guys on this show and stuff. And then at the time we were like working on a music video, for a song called, I think it was "The Losing Feeling," and we released the song, and we saw that they had already released the flyer for Warped Tour, and we weren't on it, and so we were like, oh dang, like. But at the same time, I was like, nah, like we're gonna get on there. Like I don't care if it doesn't say our name right there. Like,
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and we so we released the music video, and I think that was like the tipping point where it was like, okay, we need to get like this band on Warped Tour. So then they hit us up and they're like, yo, like come through, like we got like tickets for you and we got this spot on you. You're gonna play at like 4 o'clock on the no cover stage. And it was
Oh,
just like,
cool. You got a
oh
good spot.
heck yeah, it was pretty beautiful.
Yeah, because
That's amazing.
every time we played, it was like, oh wait, no, just kidding. I was gonna say every time we played, it was like right when the doors opened, but that was just one time.
Oh, okay.
So we've only done it twice. So after we played the Ernie Ball stage,
Yeah.
we didn't go back 2016, but we did go to Warped Tour. And we went to a couple of dates, and we definitely snuck in as like we definitely snuck in. But for 2017, I don't know if we like anticipated being part of it, but we were like, let's just do it anyway and like see if we get picked. And we were going for the Wilmington spot because we had gotten the Charlotte spot prior, and Wilmington was a new date.
Cool. How far away is that from Charlotte?
Um, I'm not sure how far away Wilmington is from Charlotte, but I know
They're like
that they're
opposite sides of North Carolina.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's like from where I lived in Durham, North Carolina, and they were equidistant from each other. So it was like 2.5 hours to Charlotte, 2.5 hours to Wilmington.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was like, either way, whichever city we pick, it'll be the same distance. So since we'd played Charlotte before, and Wilmington was a brand new city that they were adding to the list of cities they would go to, we were like, let's do Wilmington. We probably have a higher chance of getting Wilmington because there's so many bands that we know from Charlotte. And we are like, let's just compete for the Wilmington spot. Better chance there. And it's a new city we didn't play before. So we won that spot, but I think there was a hurricane
Oh dang.
or something, and they had to cancel that date. And so then they were like, we're really sorry, so we're just gonna put you on Charlotte's date. And I was like, well, what about the other band? And they were like, you're both gonna play. And since they were more of a metal band, I think they put that band with the metal, like on that metal main stage, and we got to play Journey's stage.
Oh, tight. Wow.
So we went from Ernie Ball to main stage.
So you guys played in that's pretty cool. Like
Yeah, it was pretty great.
So what was it like the first time compared to the second time? Was it like a different kind of feeling?
It felt like we were returning veterans. Like that's kind of how we were like, we know how it goes. And so everything was just kind of like, what is it? When you haven't ridden a bicycle for a while and you just kind of pick it up and go. It was like muscle memory,
Wow.
but on a bigger stage.
The playing on the bigger stage was really a lot better, and the sound at those sound engineers do. Those sound guys are amazing at Warped Tour. I tell you, it sounded great on the stage, and I think that's what it's so hard to get sometimes, because mostly sound people don't care. You know, they don't care about the local band. We're not gonna, you know, and usually the bigger bands have their own person that travel with them. You know, so, but I think that's one of the things I remember the most was the sound was really good. But I'll tell you, as for the production aspect of it, that second time Warped Tour was one of the most stressful days I've ever had being a musician at a show.
Wow.
It was so I'm not trying to hate on Warped Tour, but whoever was in the stage managers that day, they were not communicating. Me and our team we unloaded the van and we started heading towards the stage, but it was so early in the day they hadn't put up the signs to which stage was in which location.
We also didn't know what stage we were playing yet. We knew it was Journeys, but we didn't know if it was left or right. So that morning we found out it was left. And so then I spent the greater part of that morning writing left foot on like a bunch of like little mini Frisbees to pass out at the front.
Oh,
and
good.
I had like 1,000 Frisbees and I was like, it was really hard.
And then me and the gang were trying to load our gear, trying to find where the stage was. Asked a bunch of people, asked a bunch of stage managers. And I remember getting in touch with one of the stage managers and they were like, oh, it's in the arena part. And so we like lugged all of our gear to the arena and we got there and they were just like, what are you doing here? We were like, oh, we're playing at, I don't know, 12, whenever our time was. And we're Eyes Eat Sons. And they were like, oh, this isn't your stage. You're not on the list. And we were like, what are you talking about? And so they sent us somewhere else to another stage, got there. That wasn't right either. They weren't even anywhere near prepared. And there wasn't even wedges on the stage yet. I mean, it was so insane. And they were like, you're not playing here today. Like, what? You're not on our list or whatever. And they sent us to another spot. And then at a certain point, I was like, we got to stop moving the gear because I'm breaking my back out here. And it's so hot and I'm so stressed out. So I told, I think it was like Travis or Rob to just sit and wait with the stuff. And I'm going to go ask somebody. And then we finally found out where the stage was. And what really made me mad was the stage we were on was really close to where we parked the van. And it could have been so much easier, but it was so stressful. But finally getting the chance to play in front of all those people as the doors open and they all rushed by, and having that energy, it was worth it, I guess.
It was pretty cool. I should have definitely drinking more water that day.
It was hot.
Yeah, it was so hot. I got dehydrated and I got sick from it. And it's crazy because like it also rained that day, but we packed up all of our stuff and left just before the rain hit. Like no one knew it was going to rain. And like we like packed up and left and then it just started pouring and no one expected it. So like all these people are like rushing and like packing and stuff. And we're like seeing it on Instagram, like, oh my God, we left like right before this happened. Like, could you imagine if we had stayed?
Where did we go to eat after that?
We went to like I think it was a Taco Bell KFC, and I definitely threw up in their parking lot because I was that dehydrated.
It was the most amazing tacos.
Wow.
I passed out in their bathroom.
Oh, dang.
I'm fine though, so like I can laugh about it now. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, all I had to do was drink more water, and that wouldn't have happened.
The look that Caige give you, like
band horror stories.
They're great. I miss like playing shows and touring and just like having all these like crazy things happen. And you're just like
being dehydrated and throwing up in the bathroom.
I don't miss that. That part I don't miss. But looking back on it now, it is really funny. But there was this one time we were on tour and we had a show and I think it was in Tennessee. And we parked our van because we didn't know where else to go. We parked in this random parking lot and we were just hanging out in the van. And there were definitely a lot of sketchy people around. And like, we were like, okay, maybe we should lock the door. We should definitely lock these doors. And then it's like one guy comes up and he like knocks on the window. And we're just like, don't answer. And like, I think we were with Addison and Addison, like, we have a bat in the van. So he like holds it and he's just like, just in case. This guy tries to come in here and whatever. We're prepared with this bat.
The things you see on the road, man.
So what happened? Did they just leave?
I think eventually they went away. I think we just like
so anticlimactic.
Just everybody just like stay calm and stay still. Don't pay it any mind. If you don't pay it attention, it'll go away. That was our tactic, and it worked. Cool. But yeah.
So did you guys like sleep in your vehicle when you go on tour?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is that like?
Well, luckily when we toured, we did have a trailer, so all the gear and luggage would go in that.
Yeah.
And our van was really cool. I miss it a lot. It was a 15 passenger van with a little bit of an extension on the end, so it was pretty long. And there was only 2 rows of seats, and what we did was we kind of rigged it to make the seats form an L shape.
Mm.
So it was like this, when you open the doors and walk into the back, it's this big open space right when you get in. And there was even an ottoman in like the middle. Do you remember
Because
that?
I brought it. I was like, I want to put my things in here, so I had it. I just like used
And
it as
I put
compartment.
in like one of my old carpets, like shag carpets in it, so it had like nice carpet and everything. And then the L shaped behind that was extra space.
It wasn't a shag carpet.
Well, it had like phrase on
It was like a soft carpet.
it. Yeah,
Was it? I don't remember.
we had
now.
2 in there.
Oh,
Remember
there were
was,
2. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
but it was pretty spacious, is what I'm getting at. So like when we
Yeah.
slept, I think at most, well, sometimes we had like freaking. At one point, we had, I think, maybe 10 people in there at one time trying to sleep. Is that right?
Oh, sorry, I'm yawning.
When we toured with Take the Fall.
Yeah, I remember.
So we always had at least like 2 people awake, one driving, one in the passenger, and then everyone else could nap. But we were like sardines, just lined up in the back, man. It was
Wow.
tough.
I had my own seat though. It's pretty
Cool.
lush.
You gotta make a seat for the princess. She gets her own bed.
But hey, I also doubled as tour manager. I kept track of everything vehicle related. I like came up with a schedule for like who drove and
Oh,
like
really?
what time. Yeah, I was like super like particular about it. I was
Yeah.
very OCD. Like, okay, we need to do this. We need to keep track of the miles, and we need to like. I was the accountant of the
Yeah.
tour. So
Why did you do that? That's really interesting.
She was bored.
well, somebody has to take leadership. I also was like the van was like in my name, so I felt like I had to take responsibility for it. And
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I think
that's
also
good.
it really helped this budget throughout that
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
those tours. I mean, have you toured before yourself?
No,
Yeah.
not like anywhere far. Like I've like played shows like in faraway cities and stuff, but never like taken a stretch to go like play like multiple dates.
Yeah, I mean the biggest problem is, some nights you're not guaranteed to get anything at
Mm.
all. And so like planning out our miles and planning out a sleep schedule, it gave us the opportunity to kind of think about more than just playing the show and separate the duties or whatever. So while she was in charge of, you know, tracking the
the
miles
business
and the money
operations
of
side.
everything, then I could go focus on, okay, like getting the set and lineup information from the sound manager or something like that. Or one
Yeah.
person's in charge of, okay, I'm going to promote on Facebook today, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you bring up something like a really good point for any like band that's listening, like separating those duties like that, not only like musically, but just like everything associated with the band. Like it helps like run like the entity so much more smoothly. Like somebody
Mhm.
like in charge of like booking the shows, and then somebody like in charge of like keeping a track of all the finances and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's like running a corporation where you have like the CEO, COO, and like all these people. You have the you have like the different departments, the accounting department, the HR department, the whatever department, the marketing, and all these little pieces work together to create this one large thing. And
heck
it
yeah.
doesn't run smoothly if one department is slacking, then it kind of messes with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I've definitely like it's also like easy, or it has been in like my case, to just kind of like start neglecting like the things that like I should be doing like outside of music. Like I don't know, like posting to social media and like doing that marketing stuff. And but
Social
anyways,
media side's the hardest part.
yeah, I mean like yeah, like being like consistent with it is like what I'm getting better at. Just like posting every day or whatever.
For
But
sure.
I want to get into like what made you guys like move over here to California?
Well, I originally from here, so I had a lot of family out here, and I wanted to be close to the family. And right when we moved out here was around the time that my sister was pregnant with her first child. And I was like, oh, I want to be there for that. So that was like one thing, but mostly we wanted to come out here for music. And we felt like it was either here or New York. And New York we didn't really know anybody out there. And we also heard it's more expensive there than it is here. And we had friends out here. I had family out here, and we knew that there were connections to be made out here. And we'd visited here before, so we liked the idea of Los Angeles. We also, and our friend Lewis was also wanting to move out here at the time. So we were like, oh, this is perfect. Like, we already have our roommates. Like, we already know who we're going to live with. We know each other, and it'll just work that way. And yeah.
Well, I wanted to get away from the snow.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I did want to
Does
get
it really snow that much?
I did want to get away from the cold. And what's so annoying is the year we moved here, it started like getting really cold in LA, and people have been saying, you know, oh, this is the coldest October I've ever had in LA, and it's like right when we move here, of course.
It was also like
the sun.
It was also the hottest when we moved here. Like, right when we moved in, it was like the hottest it could ever be.
Do you remember that 2 years ago? How hot it was in like
I
the
think
summer?
so, dude.
And we
Yeah.
only had
Insane.
one tiny unit AC in the downstairs part of our like 2-story like townhome that was like super old. The air didn't circulate well, and it was like such a like crappy little space, but I loved it and I miss it. But
It was such a piece of shit, but oh man.
and like we had like the worst ant problem, and honestly, I really do miss all of the struggle of living there, because I don't know, I feel like I built character.
Mm.
I'm a whole new person from it, man.
Straight up, I feel you. That's the I dig it. It's
Yeah,
like
and
those memories like become like endeared, and I kind of look at it like we have like certain like incarnations of ourselves like in certain parts of our life, like this Ayisa was like born out of this Ayisa kind of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, my room was the hottest. I was like, guys, don't turn the AC on, because like I'm up here and I'm burning. I am like, this is a living hell. Like it is so hot.
The AC unit was downstairs, and what happens with heat, it rises. So everyone upstairs is dying, right? But everyone downstairs is like,
oh my gosh. Yeah. And like when you walk down the stairs, it was like you felt the temperature change.
Yeah.
Like it was like burn upstairs. Walk downstairs, it was
like stepping into a pool.
Yeah, it was like, it feels so nice and refreshing down here. And I'm like, I'm glad you guys are comfortable down here. Just want you to know I'm sweating like crazy up there, and I'm pretty sure I'm melting.
Oh dang!
But we lost a lot of weight.
I was the skinniest I'd ever been.
All the sweating.
Dang, yeah, those burning summers. It's so trippy how like heat rises like that, and how just like I feel you that temperature changes. Like when I turn on the heater here, like I can put my arms up and I just feel it like from like my elbow up. It's trippy.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I was at a friend's house and they were smoking. I don't smoke, but I remember I had like just walked in when them and a group of friends were after taking a couple hits or whatever, and the air was on, the AC was on, and then when the AC cut off after it reached its like the level it was supposed to go to, the air kind of dissipated, and then there was this fine line halfway through the room. The top half was all smoke, but the bottom half there was no smoke. It was all cold, and the air separated itself, and the smoke went up into the heat half of it, and it was so weird to see. It was so crazy.
Wow. The beautiful pictures you just painted in my mind. Like
oh, I know. Yeah, it's so cool.
Like a smoky wonderland or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys know like what you want to do after like this lockdown thing? Like do you have a plan for how you're gonna attack life, or like how this has changed you at all?
First, I'm going to get Mexican food at a restaurant.
Beautiful.
I will go there, and then right after that, go straight to a sushi restaurant.
Yo
Yeah.
necesito arroz con pollo.
I need
Mm.
tacos and I need sushi and I need life. I need human interaction. Like every time I interact with a human now, I'm like, this feels weird. Like it's
Right?
like trying to relearn how to interact.
Yeah.
Well, you probably no. Go ahead.
Oh, sometimes it feels like I'm an alien, like learning how to be human.
Right.
What were you gonna say, Cage?
Speaking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off topic for a
Go
second.
for it.
That reminded me. I was just visiting my girlfriend a couple days ago. She lives in Van Nuys, and on my way back, we live in Hollywood. So, are you familiar with the part where when you get off the interstate off to the Hollywood Bowl exit,
Yeah.
and you start heading into, like, I guess downtown Hollywood, that
Mhm.
area, and you get to, I think it's Highland and Franklin or whatever. Anyway, you see this giant, giant billboard. It's the biggest one. It's a portrait billboard. And passing by it, and I look up at it, and it said Trolls World Tour coming out April 10th. And I was like, oh man, no one's going to take it down because, like, no one's working or whatever, and there's no new posters to put up because there's nothing else coming out. And I was just thinking, you know what, if this coronavirus gets so bad that it gets out of control, and this is like the apocalypse or whatever, hundreds of thousands of years from now, people are going to come and come through the trash or whatever, and that's what they're going to freaking see is the Trolls World Tour, and be like, this is what their entertainment was. And I was like, oh man, out of all the posters, that's the one that's like has to stick up there.
Wow. That's a funny reality.
It was just something weird to think about, like, what
Yeah.
if it was never changed, or like people moved out of LA or whatever. Years from now, they come and visit, and they're like, what was this thing they were worshiping?
Yeah,
Such
like
an interesting thing to think of. I'm like, what?
the grand part of human history before the apocalypse. I don't know. That's funny, dude.
But you were probably asking musically and professionally what we were gonna do after.
Nah, dude,
after
whatever.
the
Just like
lockdown, right?
I don't care. Whatever comes to mind, like burritos and sushi. That sounds pretty freaking tight. Like,
Yeah. I definitely do want to like plan like a little mini concert tour, like maybe like coffee shop tour where it's just like little acoustic sets that we do, that, or like small venues, maybe like a couch surf tour where you're just like, hey, like little house party tours. I feel like those are cool.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought of like a couch on the ocean, like on a surfboard. Like.
That is
That's what we
exactly what I
meant!
meant. Absolutely what I meant.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been thinking about like just like traveling a lot, just kind of going and visiting like different parts of America and like Canada and Mexico, maybe like Central America. Maybe go like visit Zach over in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want to do too.
Let's
Yeah,
all
dude.
go. We'll take a road trip and go visit Zach.
Heck yeah, that sounds incredible.
He keeps talking about how awesome it is, and I got to see it for myself.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys haven't been to see him, or I mean, not now, but like in our. Yeah, it's cool. I helped him. We drove uh across the country to like when he was moving. Like I helped him move, and it was cool. We went to New Mexico or Arizona to visit his grandma.
Mm.
Also, like my grandma now, Grandma May, and then and then we went to Oklahoma, and he has this cool spot where it's like he has like a whole house to himself, and
Wow.
heck yeah, and it
That's
was cool. He
amazing.
lives like in the arts district, so like I don't know, like two turns, and you're like in this cool plaza with like a bunch of like restaurants and like art studios and like cool little, just like there's this cool little I don't know, it's like an indoor spot with like a bunch of little shops around, and it's just like it's super vibey. Like there's like a vegan like donut shop, and then like a bookstore slash like gift shop kind of thing, and then there's just like art all around. And
Sounds like
anyways,
a
yeah.
sounds like a those type of small town plazas that you see when you're like in Florida, like on the beach side. It sounds relaxing.
Cool, dude. Yeah, yeah, it was tight. I'm grateful that he's there. I feel like it felt like him.
Nice.
But
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's do it. I'm. That sounds pretty cool to go. We can all go visit Zach together.
And
Hell
then
yeah.
vlog it.
We can
Yeah,
vlog
straight up.
Vlog the
it.
whole trip.
Yeah. Do you guys make vlogs?
I do. I don't post vlogs as often. Why are you laughing?
I heard like I do, but I don't post vlogs.
I
I just vlog.
I just vlog, but I never post them. They're for me. No, I think I've posted maybe like 5 or 6 vlogs total.
Like I write music, but I never write it down.
No, I post vlogs very rarely, but I do post on my YouTube channel. But I post mostly like cover videos.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't know. But I do.
Cool.
At 5:07, after the show, we were outside. You, me, Zach, Ayisa, and Ray. Right? That was you.
Maybe. It might have been me. Sounds like it.
Yeah, I do remember. It
Cool.
just clicked. Sorry.
Good. No, dude, it's beautiful. Just, the timing is impeccable.
I
Like a whole
That was a good
hour
day.
later.
Do you have any like? I mean, I feel like I already got a lot of like wisdom and value from what you guys have shared so far. But do you have any tips on like if like how I should travel around? Like just like if I'm living out of a car.
Ooh.
Hmm,
Baby wipes are your friend.
All right.
that's good.
Always have extra socks and underwear because you can rewear clothes, and I feel like you can cheat. I feel like you can cheat
Taking notes.
that, but the socks and the underwear, you should definitely like have lots of those, or even like budget to like if you don't want to do socks and underwear laundry that often, you can like throw them out and just buy a whole new one.
I agree with both of those. I would say you gotta eat healthy.
Yeah, eating healthy.
I mean, you're sitting down all the time in the car, and then you go and if you're playing a show, you're going in like full energy mode, and it's not really healthy, or at least exercise or something.
Okay.
But like I remember my diet was very poor. I think I gained weight even though I wasn't eating much, but it was just such a crappy diet. Like I don't know, McDonald's, canned beef, ravioli out of a can, like just poor choices, and it just like affected me physically, and also like I was definitely less active, and
Yeah,
I don't
like your
know.
mood.
Yeah, that too.
I don't even remember what I ate, but I just remember it wasn't like as unhealthy as all the guys. Like I felt like all the guys were like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna open this can and eat it cold," and I was like, that seemed very appetizing to me. I think my diet was a little bit healthier than everybody else's,
What
and I
was
think
that?
around this time I was like wanting to be healthier and more active because it's really tiring to like sing and like move. So I was like, I need a way to have energy and like keep stamina and still be like something to watch. And
Right.
I felt like, yeah,
Some,
I drank a lot of
So-
tea.
oh, cool.
Starbucks is your friend too.
All right. Wait, so what kinds of healthy stuff would you eat?
I think I did a lot of like granola snacks. So I would always gravitate towards things that were a little bit more like organic and not really like sugary stuff. Like I didn't really eat a lot of junk food. If I was hungry, it would like be a snack. And then I would find food at like if we did stop somewhere, if it was at a fast food place, I would pick the healthier option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't drink soda. I really only drink water.
Good.
Sometimes now I do drink a soda here and there, but at the time I was really like I only drink water just because it's so high and like there's so much sugar in it, and that's it makes you sluggish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I used to be like addicted to like soda and like Monsters and like Rock Stars and stuff. So I'm pretty
Oh,
grateful that
really?
oh
Why
yeah,
is
dude.
that?
It was like
Did it because it gave you a kick, or like
yeah,
you just like the
dude.
flavor?
both of it. It's just like I needed it in my system. It's like my day wasn't started until like I had one in my hand and like on my lips, just like going down my throat, is like tasting it on my tongue, and then like
Oh,
feeling
you're
my heart
turning me
starting
on,
racing.
dude.
Dude, that's what it was. It was like it was a rush. It's like, okay, now I'm alive. Now I can like go attack life. But as you can
That's how
see
I am
now,
with
like
coffee.
yeah, I feel you. I think like coffee is a way more healthy option than rock stars and monsters every day.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I hope so, dude. That's what
Oh,
I'm on.
I
I'm
could see
pretty
that.
sure
Yeah,
it
actually.
is, because a cup of coffee a day, or yeah, like 1 cup of coffee a day is good for you.
Good.
At least it wasn't like you had that problem with like booze or something. So
Oh, dude.
that's a
Well,
positive.
I had that too back in the day. It's just like I have this tendency towards addiction, or at least the previous Omar did. No, I'm
Mhm.
addicted to like healthy stuff. I'm addicted to
Yeah.
like healthy habits.
Yay. That's good.
Heck
What
yeah.
made you realize it and be aware and want to like go into this new Omar?
Oh yeah,
Like,
dude.
was it that bad?
That's a beautiful question. Yeah, dude. I was just like depressed all day, like just seeking pleasures outside of myself to find a fulfilling feeling inside of me that I felt like all these other things were supposed to like generate. And it was just like I was just like tired of myself. I was like tired of feeling tired. I was like sick of feeling sick. And I remember I started just like putting new thoughts into my head. So like two like big uh like turning points was I watched a movie called The Secret. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, or like there's a book, The
I've
Secret.
seen it.
Yeah.
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 So I watched that, and it started to bring a new awareness to me, like, oh, your thoughts can create your reality. Well, what have I been thinking the past, I don't know, like 20 years? Oh, like you suck, like I'm tired, like you don't deserve this, whatever, all that darkness. And it's like, so I just gotta change that. I just gotta say, like, oh,
Mhm.
like I love you, I love me, like I'm handsome.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
surrounded by like beautiful people, and I'm a creative being. And so just like that gave me a really big mental shift. And then another thing that I did also, I literally looked up, I remembered this motivational speaker, his name is Les Brown. And so I looked up Les Brown depression on YouTube, and I started listening to this man's voice and his words, and it was just like, whoa, like it lit a different kind of fire inside of me. And that gave me a new kind of vision and clarity to see like what the potential that I have and how we all have greatness within us. We just got to like tap into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Les Brown,
Yeah.
LESS.
LES, one S, BROWN. Yeah. LB triple P, your platter playing papa.
I'm gonna check that out later. That's
Heck yeah,
interesting.
dude. This is a life changer. I've been watching his videos a lot recently too. Yeah, dude. Have you guys ever like struggled with anything dark?
Oh,
It's
oh
a
yeah.
deep question. Yes. I had like I went into a deep depression like right after high school. I think it was a, a purpose like struggle. I was like, what do I do, and where do I go, and how do I make a way in this world for myself, and like who do I surround myself. It was like a whole existential like, I don't know who I am and what I want to do and how to get there. And so I was like in this deep depression. I felt like I was uh, creating relationships with people that I shouldn't have created relationships with. And so for like maybe a year and a half, I was like in this dark place mentally. And I'd always had music, but I'd never really like fully seen it as something that helped me. And once I really like, okay, like applied all the knowledge that I've gained and um, learned that this was an outlet that I had been using and it was helping in like high school and stuff like that. And then once I went back into it and really was like, okay, let me like figure out what this darkness is and put it into art and kind of used it as a therapeutic outlet. I pulled myself out of it, saw The Secret, and I was like, wait, like that's incredible. Like you can, your reality, you can create a future for yourself. And once you set those goals and you like you can make it happen. I like felt myself changing. I like felt myself coming out of that darkness, and now I'm here.
Heck yeah.
So definitely.
Mine is more just stress. I used to be really stressed out all the time. Still
Mhm.
am, but like to a heavy, heavy degree. And I think you would actually find this interesting. I got into this guy. His name's Ram Dass.
Oh,
You've
heck
heard
yeah,
of
dude.
him?
Yeah, I was listening to a lecture of his last night.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I book the journey. God, I can't remember. Something journey.
Uh-huh.
But I got a bunch of his books. I actually took a class of his with the Worldwide Happiness Project, whatever that
Yeah.
his organization is called, and that helped out a lot too. And yeah, I like what you said. How like you know when you rely on outside stimulant is like when you realize you have a problem, and that being like set like just being self aware is what's gonna save you and bring you down to earth. You know, like if you identify you're stressed out or you identify you're depressed or etc., then that's like what's going to change it all, you know.
Yeah, I feel
Heck
like
yeah.
if you have all these external vices and that's kind of what's driving you, then once you don't have those vices, you're just kind of like, you feel empty. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with myself? And I'm alone. Like you feel alone, even though you're not alone. Cause like, I don't know, it's weird.
And then to add on to that, like at first, like that emptiness is like uncomfortable. It's like unsettling. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and but like inside of that emptiness, it's like there's like beauty in there. Like when you start to embrace these like certain parts and start to like embrace like the silence without the stimulus, it's
Exactly.
that's what like you tap into a new thing that but it's like it's always there. It's always been there. And now you
Mhm.
can actually like hear it. Like the awareness that like Cage is talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It's got like super deep, like
Whoa, man.
this is cool. You guys want to start wrapping this up?
Sure. Sure.
Cool. Is there anything that you want to let the people know? Maybe like a positive message or like where to find your music?
Well, you can find our music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. YouTube is free, so you can go on there and watch our music video for Irmo. I Raise My Own Hell. Um, yeah, I just want everybody to have a good time. Like if you're feeling lonely, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. You can find me on Instagram, Ayisa Adderley. It's easy.
Yeah, stay safe, crazy times,
Yeah.
stay positive, stay busy,
Stay
find something to
busy.
do.
Yeah. Meditate. Like if if you're someone who's not comfortable being alone, figure out a way to work on that in this time because now you have the ability to do that. I mean, if you live with a bunch of people and you feel like you don't have that alone time, lock yourself in the bathroom for like 5 minutes and just like meditate there if that's the only place in your home where you can really be alone. Like no one's gonna bother you if you're in the bathroom. Like, oh, I gotta go use the bathroom. Like
Yeah. Those
no
poop
one's gonna be like, let me go with you.
But yeah, check out anyone listening, check out the music, please. It's either like look at AYISA on Spotify, Apple, and everything. And then the older stuff, which we were talking about earlier, is under Eyes Eat Suns, which is still alive and active everywhere too. And that's EYES, Eat SUNS, Eyes Eat
Yeah.
Suns.
I'll have a link to
If
everything down in the description box.
Woo.
And then a really quick shameless plug: if anyone listening is a fan of Star Wars, I host my own show, which is a Star Wars talk show, and it's called Han Talks First, and that is also available everywhere else too.
Heck yeah, dude.
You just
Wow.
got a lot of content. Like
Yeah, straight up. That's beautiful. Wait,
And
so
if you want my
yeah.
book, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Oh yeah, that's the next one. Like next podcast, you'll have 3 books out.
we're
Oh,
starting right now.
I mean, we got the time, so
uh, oh yeah, I'm interested to hear like how you got into Ram Dass.
um, I was actually through music. Actually, I was a big fan of Tonight Alive, and the singer Jenna McDougall, she shared a bunch of stuff about that, and she also took classes with the Happiness Project. And
Oh.
it's a for those who don't know, it's a like a it practices meditation and yoga and like and stuff like that, and just being self-aware and mindful. And it's just life lessons. The classes don't cost anything, so you can enroll and take it just for fun. There are some that cost money, but those are more retreats, which are also very helpful. But yeah, it was through her, because I noticed she was saying a lot of things that, not only did I love her music, but Jenna was saying a lot of things about this class she was taking, and she started giving like daily. She started talking about her lessons on her Instagram story, and I was like, wow, that's really fascinating, very interesting. How do you get to be like that? And she was like, well, there's this class, and I took the class and ended up loving it. So then I got the book, and then found more videos and lectures and stuff like that, and got really into it, and then discovered a lot more people on top of that, like the guy that taught Ram Dass. I can't think of his name now, but
Oh
a
yeah,
very,
Maharaji.
yes, Maharaji. And got into his stuff, and then from there it just kind of, the ball kept rolling, and I found even more great things. But yeah, that's how I got into it, and it's something I've honestly lost some touch with. I want to get back into it, but occasionally I'll remember some of the things I learn, and I still have my notes from the class, like on certain different types of meditations, and um, just like daily affirmations. Like you said, like telling yourself, like, hey, uh, I feel good, I look good, I am good, um, I got a roof above my head, stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you just reminded me of something too. The other thing that, like just talking about like how I feel good. That's another thing that like brought me out of the depression, was like grounding myself in gratitude. Like just like starting to talk about all the things that we're grateful for. Like, oh, I'm grateful that I can breathe right now. I'm grateful that I have like a room to sleep in. And
Mhm.
yeah, anyways, that's just a
No, it's the little things. That reminds me of this monk I met at Warp Tour, actually.
yeah.
He was saying, the monks at Warp Tour, if you've been, you've seen them. They walk around with their books that have the same type of practices and teachings in them. They walk around asking if anyone wants one for a donation. They're not really shoving it down your throat or anything, or hassling you, but they'll ask you, hey, would you like this book? It's for donation. And this guy came up to me, and I was a little nervous at first, and I was like, no, I don't have any money. No, I said I don't have anything, and I tried to like get him to back away or whatever, and he was like, "Oh well, I mean, would you like it anyway?" And I was like, "No,
Oh yeah, this was I with you with that, or was that with
you
because
were with me."
I got one
And
too, and this
and
happened to me twice, where the guy came up to me and he was like, "Oh, let me talk to you about this," and like, whatever, I have these books, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I really don't have anything," and he was like, "That's okay, like I just want to share a good word."
so he said, "Well, would you just like it anyway?" And again, I was like, "No, I don't have anything." And he was like, "Well, you don't have anything. What if I climbed up this palm tree and I took off one of the branches and I brought it down and I gave it to you? Then what would you have?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'd have a palm leaf." And he was just like, "You'd have a gift from a stranger." And then he
Oh.
gave us the books. And I was like, wow, that's so small and so like insignificant, yet at the same time very significant. And it just meant a lot. And that's also what kind of got this ball rolling for me on getting into that type of stuff. But yeah, gratitude, just being thankful, not just for everything, but the little, really small things too that you'd never have appreciated otherwise.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Do you remember what book he gave you guys? Was it the Bhagavad Gita?
I can tell you in 1 second.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's two different ones over there.
Cool.
There's like a blue one,
Yeah.
and I remember the colors. I don't remember the names on it, but I remember reading it, and one of the things that I really stuck to was like allowing yourself to be free of like all these attachments.
Yeah.
So like whether it be like people or things, you can't truly be free unless you like learn to let go. Which like I'm still like I love my family so much. I'm very attached to my family, but also at the same time you have to have a level of like you can be okay by yourself kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's really important. Like being okay by yourself. Oh.
There's like we have a bunch.
Science of Self-Realization,
Oh.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita, As It Is,
So those two are mine.
and Beyond Birth and Death.
Whoa.
And the name I was looking for was Journey of Awakening by
Yeah.
Ram Dass. That's what it was called.
And those last two are his.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now you know.
Thanks.
The more you know.
Straight up, dude. This is awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking with you guys. And then maybe the next time after this COVID gets cured or like the lockdown is lifted, we can go visit Zach together.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. This was lots of fun. I can't imagine what our vlog is going to be like.
Right? Just a bunch of passing out in KFC bathrooms and
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go meditate, guys.
That's really what we're doing in there.
All right.
That was good.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Dude,
you.
I had fun. It was a good talk. Thank you
Yeah,
so
it was
much.
so much fun. Cool. Yeah. All right. Stay happy, stay healthy. Peace and
You
love to you
too.
You
guys.
too, brother. Stay safe. Thanks.